atmosphere is very important part of human's life because atmosphere makes the earth habitat. The life supporting gases are found in the atmosphere. There are oxygen and nitrogen for animals and plants. It absorbs ultraviolet rays. It protects us from the falling meteors, and also it is the storehouse of water vapors. So students, let's start our today's second part of the chapter, that is structure of our atmosphere. Welcome back again in geography class. Students, as in our previous video, we have discussed about the topics, the composition of the atmosphere and the few gases, water vapors and the dust particle which were found in our atmosphere. So students, today we will discuss the remaining topics of the chapter composition and structure of atmosphere, in which first we will cover our today's first topic, that is structure of atmosphere. So students, our today's topic is structure of atmosphere. So students, as you know, the atmosphere is structured by few layers, and these are total main 5 layers. So students, if we discuss about the structure of our atmosphere, the structure of our atmosphere is basically divided into 5 parts. So we will see the structure of our atmosphere from the lower part to the uppermost part. So if we talk about the lower part of our atmosphere, it is known as the troposphere. It is the lowermost part of our atmosphere. Then the second part of our atmosphere, it is the stratosphere. Then the third part of our atmosphere is known as the mesosphere. If we talk about the fourth part of our atmosphere, it is the thermosphere. It is thermosphere. And the uppermost part, or we can say the outermost part of our atmosphere, it is the exosphere. So students, we will discuss one by one these parts of the atmosphere. So first of all, we will discuss about the lowermost or the nearmost part of our atmosphere, which is there by our earth and which is situated from 0 to 12 kilometer above the earth surface. So let's talk about the troposphere. So dear students, now we will proceed with our first subtopic, that is troposphere. So students, the troposphere students, it is the lowermost layer of our atmosphere, and the word tropo, which derived from the Latin language, it means the changes. The meaning of the word is tropo means the change. It derived from Latin language. So if we talk about the troposphere means a sphere where all the weather phenomena are occurring and where all kind of changes are possible in the troposphere. So students, as we know, the troposphere is the lowest and the most important part of our atmosphere, and it extends to a height of about 8 km at the poles and 18 km at the equators. The average height of troposphere is 0 to 12 km. It can be varied according to the weather condition. Yes, according to weather condition. It is because all kind of weather phenomena as the cloud, rainfall, the hailstorms and different type activities and the climatic changes are occurring into the troposphere. Therefore, we can say the height of troposphere can be varies according to the different seasons. Students, how the troposphere is beneficial to us. The troposphere is so much beneficial to us because it protects us from the excessive heat during the daytime. Also, it protects us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And students, it is also keeping our earth warm at the night time, as we know during the night time the temperature is decreasing due to the insolation process. Students, the uppermost edges of the troposphere, it is called the tropopause. As you know, the tropo means change and pause means stop, where all kind of changes are stopped in a particular layer. It is known as tropopause. So students, the tropopause is the area which marks the end of the troposphere, and beyond this the temperature stop decreasing. It is an area where the temperature is stop decreasing, and it works as a boundary between the troposphere and stratosphere. So now we will see what is stratosphere. So students, as I told you, the tropopause is the ending area of the troposphere, and it play a role as a boundary between troposphere and the stratosphere. So let's see what is stratosphere. So students, the stratosphere lies above the troposphere and it extends to a height of around 50 km above the troposphere. If we talk about the word strato, the strato means straight in a horizontal way. Students, the layer of the air in the stratosphere is almost straight or horizontal. That's why we are knowing it as a stratosphere. And if we talk about the temperature in the stratosphere, the temperature in the lower part of the stratosphere, it is constant, but there is a gradual increasing in the upper part, and due to the warm temperature and dry air, because the temperature is a little bit increased in the upper part, so the air is warm and dry. So due to that, the layer is almost free from all kind of clouds, all kind of weather phenomena. Therefore, it is the ideal layer for flying planes. Student, the stratosphere is very rich in the amount of ozone. So that's why it is also known as the ionosphere. The specialty of the ozone gas, as already you know, that it protects us from the UV radiation of the sun. It absorbs the ultraviolet rays and its radiation of the sun, and thus it protects the earth from its harmful effects. Students, the upper part of the stratosphere, where the stratosphere ends and the mesosphere starts, it is also known as the stratopause. So we can say the stratopause is playing a role as a boundary between the stratosphere and the mesosphere. So now we will see what is mesosphere. Students, now we will see mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere with some atmospheric activities. So let's see what is mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. So children, if we talk about the mesosphere extends up to a height of 80 km. It is the area where the temperature starts decreasing with height and reaches about 100 degrees centigrade at the height of 80 km. Meteorites burn up in this layer as they enter from space due to friction and presence of some oxygen. Yes, the oxygen is also present in mesosphere. Hence, mesosphere is the middle part of our atmosphere, and the meaning of meso is middle. Therefore, it is also known as mesosphere. Students, as already I told you, the meteoroids burn up in the mesosphere, so they are leaving a shooting star behind them. The mesosphere is also having a boundary which is known as mesopause. It is the upper part of this layer which separates it from the ionosphere, or we can say from the thermosphere. So now let's see what is thermosphere and ionosphere. So students, if we talk about the thermosphere laying above the mesosphere, this layer extend between 80 to 700 kilometer. Students, here is a area which is known as ionosphere, which is located up to 400 kilometer above the mesopause. So students, what we can say, the ionosphere, it is contains electrically charged particles which are known as the ions. Hence it is called ionosphere. The radio waves are reflected back from this layer, and here temperature rise rapidly with increasing height. As the height is increasing, the temperature is also increasing. This layer contains electricity charged particle, as already I told you, which are known as ions, and due to that the layer is also known as ionosphere. Students, the thermosphere is much thicker than the inner layers of the atmosphere. If you will compare it with the troposphere, stratosphere or mesosphere, the thickness of the troposphere and other layers is less than the thermosphere. But the thermosphere is not nearly as thick as the exosphere. If we talk about the activities which are going on the thermosphere, so thermosphere is home to the International Space Station as it orbits Earth. This is also where you will find low Earth orbit satellites. So there's a lot going on in the thermosphere. Now let's see what is exosphere, which is the outermost part of our atmosphere. The exosphere. It is the outermost layer of the atmosphere, which extends to a height of about 700 to 10,000 kilometer and merge with the interplanetary space. The air present here is very thin, containing gases like helium and hydrogen, which are the light-weighted gases that escape into the space. This is the layer where many man-made satellites orbit the Earth. Students, the pressure in the exosphere, it is created by solar windstorm and that compress it. The exosphere extends into a black or dark blue region beyond the Earth, while the mesosphere is dark blue and closer to the Earth are the
cloudy areas of the stratosphere and troposphere. Students, as the geologists, they know very little about the atmosphere. We know only about the two layers of our atmosphere, which are beyond 64 kilometer above the sea level. So now here we will see the most important elements of our atmosphere, which are known as the weather and climate, and these are occurring into the two most important layer, which are the lower one layer. These are the troposphere and the stratosphere. So we will see now the elements of our atmosphere, which are the weather and climate.
So, students, as already I told you, the weather and the climate are the activities which are occurring in our atmosphere, and due to which the life on our earth is possible. But students, there are few elements which are affecting to weather and climate. The elements are the temperature, air pressure, wind, humidity, clouds, and the precipitation. So if we talk the factors which are affecting to our weather and climates, the factors or we can say the elements. These are total elements. Number one is temperature. Number two, air pressure. Number three, wind. Number four, humidity. Number five, clouds. And number six is precipitation. So students, there are total five activities or which we can say the elements which are affecting to our weather and climate. These are the temperature, air pressure, wind, humidity, clouds, and precipitation. If we talk about the temperature is refers to the degree of hotness and coldness of the air. So and the hotness and the coldness of the air is decreasing or increasing the temperature, which is known in the Fahrenheit and the Celsius. Secondly, if we talk about the air pressure is refers to the weight of pushing down on a unit area on Earth's surface. It is called air pressure. If we talk about the wind is the movement of air from the high pressure area to the low pressure area. And the next is humidity. The humidity is refers to the water vapors. As I told you, the water vapors are most important part of our atmosphere, and the water vapors are the particles which determines the moisture content, and it is known as humidity or the moisture. And students, if we talk about the clouds, as you know, the clouds are the result of the evaporation and the condensation process. So clouds are also known as the condensed water in our atmosphere. And the last thing, it is the precipitation. Students, precipitation is also called the rainfall. The precipitation is also known as the rainfall. Students, when the condensed water is fall down in the form of the rainfall, it is known as the precipitation. Students, the all over the things which are the factors or the elements of the weather and climate, these are the most important factors which we will study in our upcoming chapters of this unit climate. In short, we can say the weather and climate are not same. These both are the different type of activities which are based upon these six elements. Students, if we talk about the weather is a day-to-day and hour-to-hour condition which is changing daily, and the climate is a average condition of weather which remains same for a long duration of timing, moreover than 25 to 30 years, which we will discuss in our upcoming chapters of this unit. Students, one time again recall the chapter. So first of all, we have studied what is atmosphere. Secondly, we have studied in this chapter about the composition of the atmosphere, in which we have studied about the different type of gases and the water vapors and the dust particle which are preparing our atmosphere. Then after that, in this video, we have studied about the structure of our atmosphere, in which we have studied about the 5 layers. These are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere, which is also called ionosphere, and then after that the exosphere. Students, after that, a little introduction we have seen about the elements of weather and climate, in which we have studied about these 6 elements, which are temperature, air pressure, wind, humidity, clouds, and precipitation. So students, we will study more about these elements and as well the weather and climate in our upcoming chapters. So for that, keep watching SST Joule.